everyone, welcome to the CBS News. 55 years ago, Martin Luther King made his famous speech, I Have a Dream, in Washington, D.C. This important date makes us remember Black American civil rights movement. They've been fighting for years and years before having the civil rights equality. Many pioneers of the movement made history, like Rosa Parks, refusing to give her seat in a white-only bus in Alabama. So how did the Black American people fight for equality? From the first slaves in 1492 to President Obama's election, throwback to the course with our special guest, a specialist in the Black American history. So what happened during the Civil War?
The American Civil War opposed the North and the South of the United States from 1861 to 1865. The North was a Republican territory where black people were still working as slaves. Abraham Lincoln directed the north of the country, but he was opposed to slavery and wanted its abolition. Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860. He was killed in 1865 in Washington. His murder proved that even if slavery was abolished, people were not open-minded to this new politic.
Jim Crow made famous laws that marked the beginning of the segregation, saying that all citizens are separated according to their colors but still equal in rights. So why are the Jim Crow laws at the origins of the Black American civil rights movement?
In 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give her seat to a white man in a bus. Thanks to her, the civil rights movement started. In the same year, black people organized the Monroe bus boycott. This boycott was one of the most important because the justice understood Jim Crow laws were not respecting human rights.
How important was Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement?
Martin Luther King was a preacher who fought for the civil rights movement. He organized sit-ins, demonstrations, and boycotts. He received the Nobel Peace Prize 4 years before his death. Martin Luther King made his famous speech, I Have a Dream in Washington in 1963. He wanted all the people to be judged by their character and not by the color of their skin. Thanks to him, many good things happened to the Black American civilization. They were now able to vote.
In 1964, Norman Rockwell painted The Problem We All Live With. It represents a little black girl named Ruby Bridges. She's going to a white-only school in New Orleans. We understand people are mean to her and that racism was still present in the USA in the 60s. So why was the President Obama's election so important for all the Black Americans?
Barack Obama was born in 1961 in Hawaii. He became the first Black American President of the United States of America. He received the Nobel Peace Prize. When he was elected, it was a revolution. It was also a huge revenge on the segregation and a big step on the civil rights movement.
After fighting for years, African American people were finally able to have civil rights equality. They spent really rough time during the segregation, but President Obama's election proved that this time was almost gone. American people wanted to write a new page in history, even if there are still some inequalities. Thanks for watching CBS News. I let you with the weather report. Bye!